It's Tuesday Wrestling, and you know what that means. So we got once again NWA Power, AEW Dark, and NXT. But let's review what's going to happen in all three of these events in one day on this episode of the Deleted Wrestle Zone.
Are you ready? Get up, get up! 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 Get up, get up!
Hey everyone, welcome to the Deleted Wrestle Zone. All things that it's pro wrestling with AEW, NXT, New Japan Pro Wrestling, Impact Wrestling, the National Wrestling Alliance, various promotions, wrestlers, matches, and championships. I am your host, here right here. So let's begin with NWA Power. So the beginning of this event, this show was a little different. It was mostly all talking, but however, it started out, of course, once again with the national treasure, the NWA World Heavyweight Champion Nick Aldis. Now, Nick Aldis has been dealing with some troubling with Trevor Murdock, as you know. With Murdock was upset with Aldis for what he did, as you know, since um NWA came back. Apparently, Adonis decided to disrespect him and decided to attack him. Aldis said he will not condone his actions, but however, that was a big fat lie. And now that after last week he got beat down by both Adonis and Latimer, this time he was trying to make an offer to Murdock, one that he can refuse. Basically, he told him that he's setting up for a six-man tag team match where he is not going to be involved, but he has, of course, Adonis and Latimer and a mysterious third person to pick versus Murdock and two partners of his choosing. Now, the stipulation that he put it out, if he wins, he will get a title shot for the 10 pounds of gold. But however, if he loses, he will take a 30-day suspension. Basically, what is going on is Nick Aldis is trying to prove that he is the guy in charge, that no one needs to get involved. It's like, don't try to cross him, or that sort of thing. But, that's how it is. Nick Aldis acts like he thinks he runs the place, but we'll see where they're going to go with it. Now, initially, this match was set up between Sal Rinauro and JR, oh, should I say just Kratos. This match ended in no contest because apparently what was happening is Kratos was losing control. He wanted to beat him up. Even he was told by the ref to stop. Even Aaron Stevens, his tag team partner, who was also one half of the NWA World Tag Team Champions, kind of thought, what the hell is this problem? He even tried to get in the face of Tim Storm, who is, of course, a former NWA champion and now commentator with NWA. But however, because of this, Adonis and Latimer chose Kratos as their third partner. But the real question is for us, who will be Murdock's two partners? That is until that main event. Now, this next thing we see is Slice Boogie talking about how he's a far more better man than Jack Zane. Now, we have seen that he has proven that he is on the top of his game, and the thing is, does he have what it takes to take on a guy like Jack Stain, who is in fact also an NWA World Champion? I don't know, but if Boogie keeps talking too much, he may lose focus. Now, the next match, this one was for the NWA television title between Tyrus and with Austin Idol versus the Pope. Now, much of this match, it could have gone fair, but however, Austin Idol was making these dumb accusations, was saying these accusations of certain moves that Pope was about to do. If you guys ever seen him, he pulls down his knees to do one of his moves. He calls that cheating. That's not cheating. That's how he goes. He even tries to call out. But however, the match ended in a time limit draw. They were supposed to go on for 6 minutes and 5 seconds. So, however, Tyrus did not win the match. Neither did Pope. But however, Pope retained the title. But I'm not sure if this is the last we're going to see from Tyrus, because the few earlier in since they came back, they were intending to have Tyrus to go for the 10 pounds of gold. But we'll see what happens next. Now, this next one is a bit of a mediatory type of feud between two different women. On one corner, we have Thunder Rosa, the other, we have Kamille. Now, all of this began when there was the number one contendership at back for the attack between Kamille and Thunder Rosa. If you recall, Kamille won. She became the number one contender for the NWA Women's World Title. Now, Thunder Rosa admits, yes, I lost. But it appears for Kamille, she's not done. And she does, and then later on, during an exhibition tag team match between Thunder Rosa and Alex Gracia versus Sky Blue and Genocide, she attacked Thunder Rosa, speared her. And of course, she's like, doesn't talk about it. They ask her why. Why did you attack her? She wouldn't give a response. Then now, here's what happened. When they had the mediators, Thunder Rosa had Melina, and of course, Kamille has Tyron Terrell. So the obvious is Kamille is avoiding the bigger question. The question on everyone's mind is this. Yes, Kamille, you are the number one contender for the world's women's title. But however, why did you attack Thunder Rosa? Why you decided to go against her even though you are the number one contender? They wouldn't give her. Now they put it out, oh, maybe because she's jealous of Kamille. No. This is how I see it. This is how I would play out the story. Kamille probably is jealous that Thunder Rosa has a much bigger recognition than Kamille. Now keep in mind, Thunder Rosa has made headways. She not only runs her own promotion, she even appears in AEW. She has faced the best women that the world has to offer. She traveled anywhere in the world. So you got to ask yourself, Kamille, she may be the strongest woman ever, possibly the most powerful. But how do you compete against someone who has a much bigger reputation? I think the way I see it is this. Kamille is jealous of Thunder Rosa just because she's more recognizable. Her reputation precedes her. Now, question this. What happens if Kamille wins the NWA World Women title? What does that mean for her? Does that prove she's the best? Yes, but at the same time, it won't be enough. As long as Thunder Rosa exists, she will continue to be more recognizable than Kamille. I think that's the way I see it with the story. Kamille is jealous of Thunder Rosa because of her recognition, and now she wants to ensure she becomes the girl that people can talk about. Or she doesn't care if they talk about her, but they need to talk about her. But we'll see what happens down the line. Now, in the main event, we have, of course, that 6-man tag team match. We know who's in Adonis' team. Team Aldis. We have Adonis, Latimer, and Kratos. On Trevor Murdock's side, we see Aaron Stevens. And then Sauer now, we thought, oh my God, you got beat up. But, what's his name? Tim Storm shows up, takes his place. Now, the match could have gone in any way possible for Trevor Murdock, but no, Sal Renauer had to screw things up. He wanted to prove that he has what it takes to be part of the NWA, but he let his own misjudgments, his judgment to take over and cost Trevor Murdock an opportunity for the 10 pounds of gold, and he put him in a 30-day suspension. However, I don't know how Tim or Aaron would feel about Sal Renauer with his ways. He should have stayed out of it, knowing that everything was under their control. But we'll see what happens. I know for a fact we're going to see all this Adonis and Latimer making fun that they finally got rid of him for 30 days. Now they can concentrate on bigger things. But we'll see what happens down the line. But right now, let's move on with AEW Dark. Okay, so we got AEW Dark. Opening match is a tag team match. We have Fuego del Sol and 3-3 taking on the Acclaim. As you can guess, the Acclaim has been making themselves a better known tag team as a heel group, knowing that they diss people, anybody to get their ways. As you know, Anthony Bowens did came back now that ever since he got his injury. I feel like they are now in the rankings or they're working their way up. But we'll see where they're gonna go. We do know not too long ago they lost against the Bucks, but this time we'll see where they're gonna go in their tag team rankings. Next match we have the Seidel brothers taking on David Ali and Aaron Fry. I can tell you right away, the Seidel brothers won, which was a good match. I think I like the Seidel brothers; they're pretty amazing. Next match we have Dante Martin versus Andrew Palace. I have to say, I'm very much impressed with Dante Martin being now since his brother Darius is out of action for my understanding, he will be out for 12 months, which is a long time. But I think this is going to be a perfect opportunity for Dante to, how do I say, now have a much bigger recognition as a singles competitor because it's not easy. Now, what I like about during the match when they were talking about Dante, they compared him and his brothers similar to the Lucha Brothers. Remember, Lucha Brothers are not just tag team specialists. They also have a good reputation as singles competitors. We've seen it on countless times on various promotions. It doesn't matter where or what promotion. You can tell that maybe this is going to be similar to Top Flight, being not only as a tag team group, but we can expect them to be as singles. But I have to say, Dante Martin continued to impress me. His finisher with the 450 splash is still amazing, but I enjoyed it, so I love it. Next match, we have the Varsity Blondes taking on Duke Davis and Gannon Jones Jr. These guys act like they're football players, but come on. You can't beat the Varsity Blondes. These guys know what they're doing. That's why you got Griff Garrison, who's an Ivy League athlete. But you know how that goes, and the Varsity Blondes always win their matches on this one. Next match, this one was a very interesting match. This is Brian Cage versus Hook taking on Marty Cazares. If you guys don't know who Marty Cazares, you may know him as Marty from Lucha Underground, that creepy guy that's been messing around with Melissa Santos, who is real life wife of Brian Cage. I did not expect, but I have to say, if that was AEW, I pay attention to Marty. He is a very unique kind of individual wrestler. Like he has like this psychotic look. If you guys ever seen Marty, how he is in the in Lucha Underground, you'd be like, wow, this guy knows what he's doing. You would have enjoyed it, and trust me. But the match was great. Hook didn't even need to get involved. But, however, how this match ended with Brian Cage. But Taz gave a clear message to Hangman that he better be ready because Cage will put him out. We'll see what happens tomorrow for that one. Next match, Layla Hirsch versus Renee Michelle. This is another interesting match because, as you know, I've been enjoying Layla Hirsch, how she's been fully developing her own skills, her own craft. But one thing I did like is how Renee Michelle tried to play it smart because she knows there's only one way she could win is by applying the armbar, which is her top weapon that she's been using. Renee Michelle tried to avoid it a few times, but in the end, she was tricked into it when we thought she was about to pull the jackknife, but nope, it did not. It ended with the armbar. And I think Renee Michelle did not see that one coming. It was a misdirect, but it was played out great. Next match, we got Lance Archer versus Jake St. Patrick. As you know, you can guess, yeah, Lance Archer wiped them out. But he did not do exactly what he was normally do. You know, like, okay, he pinned the guy and then he lifts him up. No, he just went on with it like, it's over. But the real question is, what does this mean now? I know there's been talk about, his run in with Sting about saving his life and all that. It's still unclear what is going on, but it's becoming a good story. Like I said, I wouldn't be surprised if Lance Archer ditches um, Jake Roberts for Sting, but it would be an interesting thing to see. Now, the Dark Order members, 10, Uno, and Stu, are set to face against the Hardy family office. As you know, this feud continues on ever since Dark Order's help Hangman Page to beat him in the match, but we'll see what happens down the line because that's the main event. Now, the next match we have is Diamante versus Michelle Rosa. I mentioned this woman before in Ladies Nights Out, but you can guess right away that Diamante won the match regardless of her ability. Next match we have Lee Johnson versus Willowday. Another good match. I have to say Lee Johnson is proving to be a much better wrestler development. Not to mention he got signed with AEW completely. But in the end of the match, since he won it, he was attacked by QT Marshall as a payback that Johnson did not thank them for being there for him, and of course Dusty Rhodes helped them out. But here comes the cavalry of the factory, Camarado, Agogo, and Solo, and we'll see what happens this coming Wednesday in the feud between Dustin Rhodes, Billy Gunn, and Johnson taking on the factory's QT Marshall, um, Camarado, and of course Solo. This is going to be a very good match. Next match, we got Penelope Ford and Kip Sabian with Kip Sabian taking on Ashley the Bose. I don't know who she is, but you can tell anyway that Penelope Ford wins. The one thing I was expecting in this match is, okay, they're kissing it, and all of a sudden you see Mira, who has, let's just say, some unfinished business with Kip. But no, it didn't happen. I'm assuming they're saving that hopefully by Dynamite because I think we're expecting a feud between both Penelope Ford and Chris Statlander because it was Penelope Ford that put her on the shelf for nearly 10 months. But we'll see what happens then. Next match, we have Colt Cabana taking on Cole Carter. You know for a fact he was going to win. He pulled off the Superman move and he won. Next match, we have Danny Jordan taking on Kylan King. Man, Kylan King continues to impress many of us, especially those. I have to say, I like it. I enjoyed it. I have to say, Kylan King should form a all-girl faction with Big Swole and Red Velvet out. Come on, Tony. Think about it. Have an all-female faction. It'll be fun. Next match, we have SCUs, Daniels and Kazarian taking on Liam Gray and Adrian Alanis. You can guess right away that it was SU that won the match. Simple as that, but it is what it is. Now we go to the main event. We have the Hardy family office, the Blade and Private Party, along with Matt Hardy and the Bunny taking on Dark Orders, Tan, Stu, and Evil. This match was so much fun. I enjoyed the main event. However, I think the best moment is when Bunny was attacking Uno, but Colt Cabana was able to turn around and show him that you got Bunny interfering, and he kicked both Bunny and Hardy out of ringside. And of course, you got the other members, Reynolds, 5, and Cabana still sticking around. But I like how this whole thing ended. I have to say, I like how 10 put him in that Nelson lock. It kind of fits perfectly for him, like proving his dominance. I enjoyed it. So the Dark Order won this match, but we'll see what's going to happen in the upcoming tomorrow for the main event with TNT. As you know, 10 is set to face Darby Allin for the TNT title. So I'm ready for that. I hope you guys are ready. But right now, let's continue on with NXT. Okay, NXT. It opened up with Dakota Kai along with Raquel Gonzalez taking on Mercedes Martinez. As you know, Mercedes Martinez decided to make a play against Raquel Gonzalez for the NXT Women's title. But however, this was one of those matches where, okay, Raquel will not tolerate someone try to come into their turf and try to claim something that's not theirs. Now, as you know, Mercedes Martinez tried to get her hands on this title once before with Io Shirai, and now she's going against Raquel Gonzalez. But however, the match ended in a disqualification due to Raquel Gonzalez. Mercedes had the match won, but she brutalized Mercedes Martinez. I don't think she expected this, but however, I would love to see this feud continue because even though Raquel claims that this is now her, the division is hers, but I don't think Raquel Gonzalez knows in the story wise, the way I say it, is she's now becoming a target. You got Mercedes Martinez, Toni Storm, Zoe Starks, of course Io Shirai, but we gonna wait when that happens, and of course Frankie Monette. So she better be prepared who will be coming for her title. Now we jump into an interview with Ember Moon and Shotzi Blackheart. Someone throws in delivers these flowers, saying that coming from Dexter Lumis. I'm like, no way. Dexter Lumis would never send flowers to any of these two. But I started to think, what if this was a setup by Candice? As you know, Candice has been very agitated with Indy Hartwell and her romantic link with, of course, with Dexter Lumis. But we'll see what happens in the rest of the episode. Now, as you know, Cameron Grimes is the richest man on the planet. He goes out to some jewelry store to buy a new watch, and it continued. But the best part is when they showed the continuation with this one, where he saw this nice, expensive watch, but however, someone showed him a much expensive watch, and that person is, well, boys, what's your price? Tedbds, and he's not surprised. He's been obsessed with him, and now looks like Ted DiBiase gets the last laugh. Now, as you know, the tag team division on the men's side has been very, very interesting. With MSK becoming champions, grizzled young veterans are determined to be the recognizable tag team that the world needs to see. But however, they have to face a team that can be formidable, and that team is none other than Thatcher and Ciampa. So, the real question begins. Who will be the lucky contender to be number one contenders? Well, we'll see what that happens. Now, in recent time, we have seen Killian Dane has been conflicted over the fact with his former Sanity team member, Alexander Wolf, who's currently with Imperium now. It's still unclear whether if Imperium wants to recruit Dane. We're not sure. Drake Maverick is not liking this one so bit. But he's trying to get him to get his head on the game. This is serious. Because the Imperium guys are no joke. That is something that Maverick has to keep that in mind. Now, as you know, Swerve, he was officially done, but I think what happened when he was attacked by Leon Ruff kind of made him, okay, this is a side that I like. So let's do a false count anywhere match. So that's going to take place next week. Now we see the next match. We have Toni Storm versus this newcomer named Zeta Raymner. As you know, Toni Storm is obsessed with Zoe Starks. She was mostly focused on her because she will not tolerate a rookie like her coming to her turf and try to take her spot. But however, the match was like totally in favor of Toni Storm, but however, it did not end that way. Zoe Stark shows up and it distracts her. But the biggest uh, upset is how Zeta won the match by applying a shooting star press. Yeah, you guys heard me right, a shooting star press. I did not expect that, especially for someone like her, but that was a beautiful execution of finisher. And now Toni Storm has something to think about her losses. This is one of them. Now, as you know, Legado Fantasma, they're on their place. Santos Escobar is determined to win back the Cruiserweight title, but however, his team members, Raul Mendoza and Joaquin Wild, believes that that those titles are in the wrong waist. They're coming now for the NXT tag team titles. So basically, we're gonna see Santos Escobar facing Kushida for the NXT Cruiserweight title, and we got Joaquin Wild and Raul Mendoza taking on MSK for the tag team title. So this is gonna be an interesting thing because they believe if they obtain all the gold, then they rule the entire NXT brand. Now, next thing we see is Bronson Reed taking on Austin Theory. This match was a very bizarre way how it ended. As you know, Indy Hartwell was not happy with the fact that the flowers were sent to, and she was upset. Dex Loomis tried to talk to her. Well, I don't know how he was talking to her, but when he saw that Austin Theory was coming, he pushed her out of the way, made himself a sacrificial lamb. Now, as soon as the match was over, it was Bronson Reed the won by applying the tsunami on Theory. But, however, I think what happened is, I think this whole thing was a setup to get Indy Hartwell to get herself on the game. So they say all of this was Shotzi Blackheart and Ember Moon's fault because they were stealing Indy Hartwell's man, trying to get into their heads. Now, I don't think that's what I see. I think they're what Candace. It's the same thing they did with Theory, is trying to get Indy Hartwell fired up to obtain the titles. But of course, you got one more thing. Dexter Loomis is set the face against LA Knight because he hasn't forgotten what happened. But of course, he was not totally impressed the idea of Indy Hartwell try to make out with Dexter Loomis. But you know how LA Knight's gonna be. He's gonna try to win her over. But however, I wouldn't associate myself with him if I know a guy like LA Knight will target Johnny Gargano for the title. Next match we have is Imperium, Eichner and Bartel, along with Wolf taking on Dane and Maverick. This match was so interesting because it was a good match, but however, it ended up in a sort of conflicted matter by Wolf. Wolf is a member of Imperium, but he was friends with Dane when they first arrived at NXT until Insanity broke up. So I don't know what's going on, but somehow Eichner and Bartel were able to win the match, but whatever's going on with Wolf, it's conflicting him. Now, Pete Dunne, we still don't know much what his plans. We do know he wants championship gold. It's still unclear what he's going to target, either the NXT title, North American title, the Cruiserweight. Who knows? But if I were Pete Dunne, better make this one very clear because we want to know who will be the one who's going to be the unlucky one to lose to him. But we'll see where they're going to go. Now, this next match was supposed to be a women's tag team match between Aaliyah and Jessica Kamea, between Moon and Blackheart. It ended in a beat up down spree between with the ways Lorray and Hartwell trying to get into their heads, beat them up. Jessica Kamea thought that they won. Aaliyah thought they won the match, but however, it wasn't. It was a no contest since they were wiped out. But they'll get their shot of those tag team titles soon enough. Now, we haven't seen Adam Cole since the NXT TakeOver Stand and Deliver. He did say he's recovering well, but he believes that Kyle O'Reilly, he's nowhere ready to face a guy like Kraven Cross. So he goes out saying that he's the better man, that he will be that guy once again. But I don't know what Kyle O'Reilly is thinking in the back of his head. That he agrees that maybe Cole is right, or he's just trying to mess with him. That is one of the things in the story wise you have to understand. It kind of goes, okay, he beat him fair and square, but where do both these men go from here? That is a question that it's yet to be told, but it'll be fun. Now, the next match we have Legato taking on MSK and Kushida. This match was also a statement by Legato proving that they will obtain all of the titles that MSK and Kushida has. So basically, Legato took out Kushida outside, but however, it was Joaquin Wilder that picked up the victory, winning. So can we see down the line Legato obtaining all three of these titles? Well, we'll see where they're gonna go. I think we may have that sooner rather than later. But that is it for now with NXT. I'm going to give you guys some news updates, so let's do that right now. Okay, so here are some new updates that just came to my attention today. It's been told by Wrestling News Observer now that Consejo Mundial Lucha Libre, or as we know them, CMLL, are no longer in a working relationship with Ring of Honor. Now, this was interesting news because we have seen these two work together in the past. Now, there was a little thing that I remember Shane Taylor says, we don't need to work with other people. We need to make ourselves stand out. So it kind of makes sense. And of course, CML are planning to do the same thing. But however, not too long ago, they did sign a negotiable contract where they will continue having a working relationship. But what does this mean for Ring of Honor? Well, I don't know, but I'm kind of curious to see where they're going to go with this. Now, as you know, we have seen that Andrade has been making headways. We don't know who he's signed with. I know there's those that want to believe it's AEW, but we don't know. But frankly, there's been an announcement that on July 31st, he is set to face against Alberto Del Rio. I mentioned this name before, but you probably asked, why would he face him? I don't know. As you know, these two guys known each other before when Alberto was known as Dos Caras, and of course Andrade as La Sombra back with CMLL back in the day. But I'm kind of excited to see where they're gonna go with what this match is gonna be like. And finally, this is a very interesting news. It appears there's a good chance AEW Dynamite could move to another night due to the fact of the NHL of a deal that's going to happen, but it's still unconfirmed yet if that's going to happen, but we will put a pin on this. But however, because of this news, rumors circulating saying if AEW is going to move, NXT could possibly move back to its original time. Because many fans prefer AEW should have moved. I'm like, yes, but it's the network's call, not the promotions. And that's what fans don't understand. The network makes that decision, not the promotions that themselves. Tony Khan has a good relationship with the guys from Time Warner and TNT. So basically, if they're telling we want you to move because of this, then they have no choice to do that. So we'll see what happens down the line once it's 100% confirmed. I'll put a pin on this one, and I think that's going to be it for now for all of you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Stay tuned for more. We got AEW Dynamite coming up and more other things. I'm not sure if MLW will be aired because we do know they will be having their show televised on Vice TV, so set your clocks on that. But for now, let's just see hopefully what happens then. But I'll see you guys in the next DWZ time, same DWZ channel. I must bid all of you adieu, so goodbye. Mwah! And have a nice day. Bang!